That is fantastic.
Mm.
What is our intro? Oh,
Hi.
hey! You know,
Hello, everybody.
can I just say for the intro, it throws me off because I'm on this side, then I see myself on this side. I said, when did I morph over here? Fantastic.
It's the movie magic of it all. So I just posting,
Mm.
make sure everyone sees. So thank you all for clicking on our faces. We are back after a bit of a hiatus. You know, it was President's Day, it was Valentine's, we had a lot to do, but we are
Mhm.
back giving you a 2-for-1 special. We're talking about Superman and Lois, season 3, episode 3 and 4. So
Yep.
let's just hop right into it.
Let's do it.
I really like the intro to episode 3. We got like a little bit of a dream sequence with Clark, and he hears Lois in the distance. He's trying to fly out and save her, and we see the city of Metropolis is like crumbling around them, and it looked
Mm.
a little bit like bad CGI, but still, this is a CW, so you got to give them like a little extra chance for that, right?
Mhm.
But I thought it was pretty good storytelling, and I enjoyed it. The only thing that I thought was off was the fact when he's racing to her, like flying in the sky, right? He's like, both fists out. He gets to her in the nick of time, but she would have been dead with the speed of force he hit this woman to stop the planet from falling on her. She would have snapped her neck, like Gwen Stacy style, and died. But it is what it is. It was a dream sequence. And we saw him, awake in bed, and she's, still perfectly fine.
Mhm.
Um, then a little later in the episode, we see that Jonathan, right, and his little boo boo smoochy smoo, right? They
Boo
they're
boo.
actually
She's smooth. Yo, that's a good one.
they are back in the Smallville diner, right? And she's working there, and
This is where the
Mm.
magic
she gives him a little smooch, on the cheek. And everyone else around are like, giving him the stink eye because apparently he didn't tell her about the girl from the party, the one who was all up on him and stuff like
happens. Ex
that.
girlfriend.
Yeah, the ex-girlfriend. Now, me personally, I'm all here for girl power and girl unity and all of that. But I feel like that ain't even something he needed to tell her. He turned her down. It wasn't like, he's sneaking behind her back. He told the girl, hey, I got a girlfriend. I feel like to tell her this now would just, make her angry and upset that for one, he didn't tell her sooner. And for two, that this girl came up and tried to, get with him at the party. At this point, it's water under the bridge. I wouldn't tell her, but what do you guys think?
I think he should have told her, and the only reason why I think he should have told her is because Smallville is very small town.
Mm,
Only because,
That was a good
o-
one, Vic.
only because it's better if she finds out from him
okay.
than from the chismosas.
I
If you
could
know what
see
that
that
means.
debate, but at this point in time, how many days have gone by? What?
You know, it
Do
might
you
have been 2 weeks.
understand how emotional things are in a
Yeah, go
small
ahead. Take the
town?
floor.
Do you understand how
So,
deep emotions are in a small town?
okay,
Because there's
okay.
nothing going on. Like these 2 week relationships are everything.
Okay, okay. But no, but
Hmm.
even though so much time has passed, I'm assuming at least a couple days have passed. The way they were speaking in the show, a couple days at least have passed. And for
I
him
would
to
think a
bring it
week.
up now, you would still bring it up now, even though days have passed and he didn't say nothing about
You
it.
know what?
Oh no, hell
I
no. I
meant.
mean, if she because
Okay,
the
there
thing
we
is,
go.
my whole thing
Mhm.
is look, you notice
Go
how
ahead.
she was
Go ahead,
like,
Vic.
oh, I heard this, I heard that. Oh, I didn't hear about that. Oh, I didn't hear
Oh,
about that. I heard this. Da, 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 da. They all talk. She's a waitress in a diner.
oh, facts. You
You
think
know
she
what I'm
already know?
saying? Like, this is worse than the barbershop.
I doubt she knew. I think she has other things to worry about because I know we're going to talk about that trash bag father in a bit. But I sit here and go, I'm hearing all this, but not enough. Good job, Jonathan, for being an honest man. Because you know what the media likes to do is they say men ain't honest; they're just hiding and lying. But he sat there and said, I want to tell this girl that I care about the truth, even though I denied this girl. I didn't make the moves on her. I wanted to know you can trust Jonathan Kent. So good job, Jonathan. I'm proud of him for doing that. So yes,
We gave him his props in the last episode, but as far as this episode, the
I
only
don't
thing I
recall.
will say he's wrong about doesn't he's still rocking the little piece of jewelry.
Oh yeah,
The
that's
ex
that's
gave him.
that's slimy. That is some slimy. That's some
I
P Diddy stuff.
said it was expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
pawn it.
Sometimes when things are expensive,
No, he should have just not
they
took
look
it.
nice.
Facts. That's the correct answer.
Just should have not took it. I'm all for extra money, but he just shouldn't have never took
Yeah,
it.
he shouldn't have took it.
Mm.
But to move on to Sarah and her story, right? Of course, her parents are still going through the divorce. And with that, anxiety's high. There's some different things going on in the household. Her mom installed a new security system via the
Good.
help of Seal, aka John.
Mm-hmm.
And it's was specifically for her and her daughters to get in. And he even, kind of put a little hint. So should I add your husband? Well, not her husband. He said the guy's name to the security system. And she was like, no, just me and the girls. So I don't know if that was him, like, trying to get a little beats on if is she on the market or not.
He was filling out the vibe. He was filling out the vibe. He was.
Like he was filling up the vibes.
No, he was.
Because they
He wanted
feeling
to
each other.
see. Because he's like, do you want him on there? Because then he'll know what his next move is.
Yeah.
So if she would have said yes, he would have said, no doubt, did a security, never to be seen or heard from again.
Mhm.
No, I'll see you later, Lana.
Exactly. He want to know if he's still dropping off that dick. That's what it was.
I mean,
Well, they call him still for a reason.
facts. I mean, hey, he could pick
I had
her
to
up
get
when he
that
goes
joke out
back to his old world.
Oh yeah, he trying. He got to go, but he can't go back into him.
Yeah.
He got to leave him with something.
Facts.
Oh yeah.
So, but later in the episode, we see that emotions run high in the Lang family or the Lang household or whatever the last name I forget. Not Lang because that's not a Lang. So her married name. Well, technically now she's divorced, so it's the Lang household.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just House, because maybe that's not her last name. It's just House.
Her daughter is being a butt, in my opinion. Sarah, this is why I don't like Sarah. I do not like Sarah. She pretty much tells her mother, she's being a teenager, you can't tell me what to do kind of situation. And she tells her mother, oh, this is why dad cheated on you because you're so X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, this little whore.
Lana slapped the hell out of her.
Lana slapped the hell out of her. And they're trying to frame it as if this is something wrong. She deserved that slap, goddammit. She deserved a slap, in my opinion. She's speaking like, how dare you speak to your mom like that? How dare you? And it isn't like she has a bad mom. Lana is trying to be a good mom. And apparently she comes from a family, a household. That she didn't have a good mom herself. So she's basing everything that she's doing with her daughter just from her own knowledge, as being
her experience. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she's, doing, a good job. She doesn't seem to be a bad mother from what we've seen in the show. And for her daughter to be so disrespectful and gross and say this is why dad cheated on you, knowing that this is like still an open wound for her mom.
Oh, that was honestly, if I can use a phrase here, that was literally a kick in the dick. Because when she said that, I said, oh Lord, those words left your mouth. And listen, Lana slapped her. If I ever even thought to say words like that to my mother, I wouldn't be here.
Facts.
So Lana is a really good mother because she used a slap instead of eliminating her from life.
Right, instead of beating her ass.
I mean, truth be told,
Bronx style too.
Look, in my opinion, I get why she slapped her, but she definitely should have used her words. Now, mind you, if she used her words, then no. But wait a minute. If she used her words, then those words would have hurt a little bit more and probably stuck a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because the truth is, this little girl is just somebody that doesn't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to hear no. She doesn't want. So she's gonna just figure out to say whatever it is that she can say, right? So the problem with hitting is that look, bomb. Once she got hit, automatically she won. The little girl won. She's got her mother by the balls. She's basically, she's got her mother just guilt tripping her as much as possible and all of that. And she's basically in control of the entire situation moving forward, because now her mother's just literally going to walk on eggshells instead of trying to correct that whole situation. Right. And so now if they would have had a battle of words, I don't think it would have escalated there. Because the only thing she could have said is, how could you say that to me, Mom? Could have called her a little whore or something mean. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like words ain't gonna do it. I don't know. This is elevated, Vic, because I know the Dominican mamas, they be pulling out the chincletas real quick.
Yeah, but the thing is that look. But here's the thing: that only works to a certain point. That only works to a certain point because look, as an adult. Oh, yo te voy a dar un ta, or go get a switch when you're full. Come on, that doesn't work. You know what I mean? But what are you gonna do? You're gonna say some words, but then if
that
I say
work for me, that work for me.
You know what I mean? That's the
I'm
thing.
gonna hold you. So, I hear what you're saying, but the
kid is grown. The kid is grown. The kid is an FFA kid. Shout out to FFA, but she's grown. She's she as far as hitting, it didn't have to happen, but that was her mother's reaction because look at what she said.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I gotta sit here and say, I hear what you're saying, Vic, and I think you're saying a lot of great things here, actually, because I get that. If you use your words, you can do a lot more damage. But I'm not gonna hold you. That slap looked like it hurt as hell because she started crying. She locked herself in the bathroom. I mean, I would sit here and say, and I think you appreciate this, Vic. That was a Stephanie McMahon attitude era slap because when she got slapped, she said, "Oh." She was very hurt. White girl tears started coming down.
You know what though? But think about it. All right. Imagine if she would have said that. Imagine if she would have said that to her father, or said something like that to her father, and then her father would have slapped her.
Oh, I would. It
would have been a whole nother thing.
That's different.
Right? But then if her father would have said something real mean to her, I think that would be a lot more effective.
I don't know. I feel like it's different with dads and daughters. You can't, put your hands on her. Like
you can't. You cannot. That's the truth. You can't. But
I would even go.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like she definitely deserved it. But the problem is that she lost the battle by doing that. That's my whole point.
I hear you, but
it's not that it wasn't justified. She definitely deserved that slap. Don't get me wrong. But long term, you finish. Your daughter's got you by the balls.
And apparently she didn't learn her lesson either because she goes and cries wolf to the dad and completely leaves out the fact that the things that she said to her mother, only the fact that her mother slapped her. So
exactly.
Yeah.
No accountability whatsoever. You still
that's because that's Sarah, man. That Sarah is a bad apple. That one is a bad seed.
I feel like we've become the adults here.
Some nasty shit to her though. She would have been running to her father and talk about, oh, I got slapped. If she would have just said something wild shit to her, you know what I mean? Yeah, every parent knows their kids.
But remember, in the season that she found out that her dad cheated, she was very much anti-dad. She was like, "Oh, Dad, get out of here," on Lana's side.
Well, she's the daughter. She's the daughter, right? So a lot of times with daughters, they know that if something with their mom happened, they're gonna go to their father because the father's immediately gonna be their knight in shining armor. Knowing that this guy is trash. Matter of fact, this father, I thought it was funny to mention. Oh, I don't know if it's funny, but he was trying to get with this girl right there and there at the
Christy or whatever her name is. Yes,
at the diner. And I wanted to throw.
No, that was her. She showed up looking for him. Don't forget that.
She did.
Yeah, but he was playing into the cards though. He was playing into the cards.
He put it down, and she.
Yes, he did, and that's why he's in this. That's why he's in this mess to begin with. Yes, he did put it down. Absolutely.
Right.
That's what happened.
I mean, but remember, it's a small town. There's not a lot of options. There's not a lot of options.
What do you think his pickup line is? She said, "Hey, I know you're in Smallville, but you want to do the opposite," and he just like, "What's this?" Just nice. I don't know, something stupid. I can tell you what's not small.
I hate that they're trying to push them on us. I do not ship this couple. It's gross, ill. But so yeah, she did kind of like
what's that for?
Oh, that's the big veil. That's what you're talking about. You want some of this corn?
Hey, you want this cornfield? You know, he would have probably, if he was watching this, he said, "Oh shit, that's me."
Yeah, that's what I got. So also we see in this episode that back to Jonathan, he was being chivalrous. He gives his girlfriend a ride home, right? And
Mhm.
apparently she's
The
from the
part.
wrong side of the tracks. She's from the hood of Smallville, right? You know, the trailer park.
You mean the part where they say the N word?
Yeah, exactly.
From the
Because
bayou.
that's what I felt very uncomfortable looking at this scene. But
Yes.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he drops her off, and her little, redneck dad comes out, and he's like, "Oh, who's this in this fancy dress?" And the dad sees him out. He barely even registers that his daughter's back. He's looking at the truck. He's like, "Oh, that's a
Yeah.
that's a
Mhm.
nice truck you got there, young man. Right? How much does it cost? Yada yada yada." So
Yep.
Jonathan feels the vibe. He's feeling it's kind of weird, but he still talks to him out of respect that that's her father.
Right.
And then we see later in the episode that he steals the truck. The dad comes in and steals the truck. Now, what did you guys think of that scene?
I mean, this guy was. I already had bad vibes off him the way he was talking to Jonathan. I like Jonathan. Seemed like a really, really good kid. So I'm like, why are you giving this kid a hard time? And I think there's a spot, and I feel like I missed this because I know at the end she apologizes to Jonathan, saying, "Oh, you was right about my father, blah blah blah," because she didn't see all that. But talking about him in general. And I know we're going to talk about this in the next episode. But oh yeah, he's gross. Plain and simple, he's gross, disgusting. Yeah. No redeeming qualities at all.
You know what though? But he's all she's got.
Mhm.
So she
Yeah.
knows she's not stupid. She knows what's going on.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And you could tell. You know how I know how
Yeah.
offended she got before he even finished the sentence.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Because she knew. You know, she just
Yeah,
didn't
that's
want to
true.
admit the situation. And mind you, the funny thing about that whole interaction,
Uh-huh.
she got all upset and then walked away, and then they were just like, "All right, it was definitely this guy. So what are we gonna do?" Yeah, that shit was bad funny, but she knows the deal. I'm curious to see what the hell happens now with her. Anyway, but we'll get to that later. But yeah,
That was a good
yeah,
cleanup, Vic. I gotta
yeah,
say, he was like, but I'll wait.
But
Word up.
that's pretty much the main points that I can remember from that episode, episode
I do
3.
want to, if I could just throw out real quick, because in this episode, I thought also too, you got to see Lois, who is dealing with this rare breast cancer, and her big fear was people looking at her as frail.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought that because there was a few times in the scene where I was very annoyed by Lois, but I understood where she was coming
Oh
from.
yeah,
At
she was
first, I was
missing
really
appointments.
yeah, and I didn't. And that was the kind of stuff that was really irritating me until she broke down and said, "No, this is what I didn't want. I didn't want you." And anytime if you ever seen anything with Superman, Lois Lane has always been like a hard head. She's always just I don't know any other word, but she always been like a hard head. But there was a moment in here I just wanted to talk about it because I thought that was a big part of this episode as well about her battling because this is going to be a big conversation on this season. So, but I'm ready to talk about episode 4 of season 3.
You know
Yes.
what? Just to piggyback off of that real quick, one thing that I understood about Lois just being that way is that it's a lot like the elderly or people with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't necessarily they won't want to be treated normal.
Yeah.
They don't want to be treated like they have any problems. And the elderly, you get this a lot where like everybody's super fragile about them
Mhm.
except for them. And mind you, with concern, of course, if you got somebody in their 80s. But like I get this with a lot of my students where they just don't want to be treated like they're not capable.
Right.
And I think that's where she was coming from with all of that, where she had to just reassure everybody, like, listen, stop treating me like I'm broken. I'm just sick. And that was she did a very good job of portraying that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I agree.
And there was this one scene, and I think it kind of plays into the next episode before we hop into that one. Clark tells her dad that, yeah, she's missing these, chemotherapy appointments. And the dad's like, look, you got to correct that. Like, how she's headstrong. You got to tell her, look, don't let her not go to these things. Tell her whatever you got to tell her, but she has to go. So I feel like in the next episode, Clark tried to overcorrect the situation, and that kind of leads to an altercation a little bit between them because he tells his sons not to bother their mother with certain issues. And once Lois finds out about it, she's very upset. She's like, okay, you're taking away my, agency as a mother. I still want to do these things for my children. And, he didn't do it out of a place of wanting to enable her. It was just out of a place of wanting her to heal and, not worry her with these, situations.
These problems. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
But,
and I think that and one of the things I really, when I watched these 2 episodes, one of the things that, I mean, you already could tell, and you'll tell even later in this particular episode, because like how you mentioned and you said, like, you could tell that Clark is not doing this out of just pity or anything like that. This man loves this woman.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy woke up at a sweat because he thought he couldn't save her. Although I do want to say that real quick in that early scene, why did she just stand there and let the glow from the planet thing fall? That pissed me off. I just wanted to throw that out because I thought that was really. I know the world is crumbling, but at least try. Stand up for yourself. But go ahead.
But the issue that they didn't really want her to address was Jonathan. He had that whole black eye situation from the scuffle with his car, his truck being stolen. And she asked me, who did that to your face? And he didn't want to tell her. And she was concerned that he was in a fight club or something like that. Long story short, she got it out of him that it was his girlfriend's dad that, beat him up and took his car. So she's like, oh, I'm about to handle it. She puts on, her Lois pants.
Her Lois jacket.
Yeah. She's like, come on, boys, get in the car. They go over to the trailer park, right, back to the hood. And she knocks on the door, right, knocking on the door. And Dude answers, the daddy. She's like, did you hit my son and steal his truck? And he's like, what did he said? Something just really belligerent to her. And he threatened her with a gun. He shows a gun on the side of his hip. He said, I'll handle all of y'all, right? And what's the boy with the powers? Not Jonathan.
Jordan.
Yeah, they come out the car like, come on, mom, let's go. I'll handle it. And she's like, no, get back in the car.
He good for Jordan. Jordan knew he could snap this boy's neck in 2 seconds. That's what he said. Yo, ma, I got this. Like, when someone says I got this, I trust and believe that boy got that. And that man had no idea that he was getting ready to see God. Well, no, I'm sorry, not God. He was getting ready to see the devil because this kid was going to break him.
Yeah,
break him and
to protect her kids. Because what if he did go too far? What if somebody sees him? What if you never know? So I can see
who's stopping. I mean, the only person who can stop Jordan is Superman himself. Like, here's the thing, and I want to talk a little bit real quick. There's a spot here because Lois's dad sometimes he gives. I was like, yo, dude, how do you talking to Superman like this? Do you not know if this man, if he didn't have morals, he could snap your neck? Like, does anyone not know that this alien, if he wanted to, he could? Never mind. I'm sorry. It just hypes me up a little bit because I'm like, why is everyone talking to Superman like he's not Superman? But I digress.
Just really quickly, they did mention, I'm not sure if it was the last episode or this episode, that the DOA kept a sample of his blood, of Superman's blood.
Yes.
So they were doing something fishy with it, but they ended up destroying the extra sample. But we aren't sure 100% what really went down. But yeah, he flashes back to the scene.
He flashes the gun.
Flashes the gun. Lois is like, "Don't you ever come around my family again." She takes everyone home. Right. That was that in that scene. And we also got to see the boy. The boy come back. I don't know if this was this episode or the last one, but the black boy from the party, the one I said he's about to turn into like, a villain or something.
You said that.
Jonathan found him in the neighborhood and brought him back to the Kent house to meet up with the daughter, with old girl, right? And I'm thinking, suspicious because what were you just hanging around town hoping to find her? Why is he so focused on finding this girl?
He wants to find love. No. He just wants to find. He's this girl swept him off his feet, and he sat here and was like, I must find her again.
I think she's a plant. I think he's a plant by Tobias Whale.
Tobias, oh yes. The guy from Suicide Slums. I agree because he's clearly trying to get to the daddy, John, because John is a doppelganger for this other guy who used to run
the sister. She's the doctor.
Yes,
I'm saying
Yes, the sister is the doctor, one of Lois's doctors that she kind of the doctor, and
Yep.
the brother who passed away. He would run, I guess, military weaponry for
Right.
this gang. So I don't know what went awry, but they ended up, unaliving him, right? And they hear word of this lookalike that's in town, and apparently he is trying to use John, which is his name, to, I guess, go follow in the footsteps of the other guy. I guess still be his connect somehow to get military grade weapons. So I thought that was interesting that, he's getting his own storyline. He had this moment, John had this moment with the sister, the doctor, and they connected off of that, how, they used to be called the Wonder Twins in their own respective universes.
But that was like a nice little Easter egg because there are the Wonder Twins in the DC universe. Those are the ones who wore the purple. So I thought that was really cool when they mentioned that. When I saw that, I was like, I didn't even need to watch YouTube to get this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not, I didn't get that. That's crazy.
Okay. They were from the old Super Friend. Absolutely. Wonder Twins activate. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I believe Tobias, he abducted the sister, right? In a way to try to convince this John to work with him. And he was like, where is she? And he was like, if you work with us, you don't got to worry about it. But John pretty much told him to, go F off. He flies out the window.
He did the whole Tony Stark.
Dives out the window and, switches suits midair and gets off. And I'm thinking, how did he just, sign this woman's death certificate by doing that? Like, he still don't know where she at, right?
No, he certainly found her because, I mean, they had already detonated the bomb. So I think they kind of knew that, what was going to happen.
Yeah, we found out that he does find her. But I'm thinking this guy, he seems, I don't know. And there was a scene where he was talking to Lois, and Lois like, yeah, sorry, not Lois, Alana. He's like, oh yeah, Lois's breast cancer. I'm sure you're really affected by that. And I was like, I'm sorry for her, but she's not my wife.
That my wife. It came off kind of cold. It came off a little cold because even when and I know this was from I don't know if it was this episode or the previous episode, but the spot where they give her the watch, and you could tell that he was really upset about the daughter giving up the watch, and I can see why, because that was something significant to him, and not even just to him, his daughter, because you can even tell like when she was like, I'm gonna do it anyway, he's like, do whatever you want, but you could tell he was like very disgusted.
Yeah,
Syl wasn't happy about this.
I don't blame him though. I don't blame him. Because he has to set these hard barriers. Because when he first came there, it's a lot. This person looks just like your dead wife, who you were madly in love with, and I'm sure he had to. There was a process of him having to
separate himself. Yes, absolutely.
And the fact that people are always trying to, force this, connection in a way, like, oh, aren't you sad that she looks just like your wife? Aren't you sad? I would be upset at that too if I were him. I'm like,
I would be annoyed by that, especially when you. I would be annoyed by that, especially when I spent, and this has been years at this point, right? Where he's already like, look at her, he knows that's not his actual wife, but to be reminded of it constantly, I would be like, yo, bro, like, yeah, I get that, and that's not my wife, so please.
I mean, no, but look at it though. But it's not only his wife, but his sister. His sister, he's no longer.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and then not only that, he also understands that he's not in his world, and these people don't know him the way he knows them. Right. So he needs to constantly make sure he doesn't get emotionally attached.
Exactly. And I'm sure that's a whole process for him. And it's very insensitive of people to constantly try to force, this onto him. And I'm like, this poor guy, I can only imagine what type of like emotional turmoil he's trying to suppress in order just to function there. I know I couldn't do it because he braver than me, because I would have been like depressed and everything else.
Yeah. No, but at the same time, it sucks because it's like, more than everybody else knows, and you can't really do much with it. You can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like it's like being Loki. You know what I'm saying?
TVA.
Yeah. Like, everybody's stuff, but you can't,
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we see Sarah with her dad, and he finally uncovers the truth as to why she's having this, bat with her mother, because she was being a little smart in the mouth. And he tells her
smart in the mouth.
Yeah,
with the hand gesture too. Smart in the mouth. Like great.
And he's like, you can't use what I did against your mother. And I'm like, okay, there's some growth here. There's some accountability happening, right? I'm honestly hoping for a reconciliation here. I don't want him to be with Chrissy. I want him and Lana to work it out. But we'll see where the season goes.
I want him to get with his true love, and that is a Heineken bottle. Get this guy off my screen.
Well,
I hope he gets with the reporter, and I hope she gets with Steele.
Over the what?
Who's you? Look, here's the thing.
You want Lana and Seal together? Lana and Seal.
We still don't know why.
Still Lana.
We still don't know why. We still don't know why he cheated.
I do.
What was the end of that? What was
over his other head?
What was the cause of that? The end of that relationship?
He cheated because he wasn't faithful. That wasn't like he cheated just because he's a jerk at the time, and he was trying to end it, right?
I don't think he was trying to end it. I think he wanted to have his cake and eat it too.
He was trying to end it with the girl.
Oh, with that? Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you meant with Lana. I'm sorry.
No. He was trying to work on his marriage with Lana. So I'm hoping that they can reconcile. They have a family, man. They have a family. They have 2 kids.
I'm pretty sure they can. I mean, this is CW. I think we're going to get a happy ending. I think we're going through this crossroad right now where, he's single and living by himself, but he's going to get back with Lana. You could tell he wants to get back with Lana. He was jealous when his daughter was like, Sil put up our technology. So we had Sil technology. And he was like, Sil technology? Who's this guy? So I'm pretty sure they're going to work things out.
But we're coming up on the final season. Season 4 is, supposed to be the final season. So do you think that they can kind of rush in a reconciliation? But we are early in season 3. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Because look, they're starting to see how the split is affecting the kid.
Yeah,
they're starting to see that, and then you could see that they still somewhat care about each other.
Oh yeah.
And I think that Lana, ran to go become mayor, kind of to distract herself from all the, the feelings of the
divorce.
And
also too, and if you look at that first episode when she does give the divorce papers, you could tell that was hard. I mean, I've never been married, but I mean, she just looked like that was just one of the hardest things she's ever had to deal with in her life. So yeah.
You trust somebody and then you can't trust them like that. You know what I mean? That's why it's hard to see them getting back together, but you never know. I mean, because it's a small town. There's not a lot of options.
I mean, it's a small town and it sucks. That's why when we did Echo, I was really excited that all that stuff was happening in Ohio or wherever the hell that was. I forget where.
So in later in the episode, Clark finds out
Oklahoma
about the
love this. I freaking love
the
this.
Father threatening his wife Lois and beating up his son. Right. So he finds out at the Clark Kent household, and Lois is like, "You can't go out there. Superman can't go out there." And Clark said, "Superman's not coming."
Oh, right there.
That was ill.
So he got beat his ass, Smallville style Clark Kent. Homegrown special. No Superman powers.
I love that when he even went and approached this man, he didn't remove his glasses because he said this is not going to be long. And I've seen people in fights and they had to take off their glasses. He said, nah. And he went out there. And I love this so much. He said, yo, did you punch my son in the face? He's like, yo, get out of here, man. But brush out of it. Because, you see a guy with glasses, you brush him off because he wear glasses. Get out of here, loser. But then when he says, you put out a gun on my wife? And he said, look, man. And when he placed him on the table and this man couldn't go anywhere, and he let him know, like, you never do that again. And he even gave him fair warning. He said, yo, bro, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter because his daughter works there. Yeah. And that's even, do you know there's a lot of people who would not care and whoop that ass in front of the kid? He said, giving you warning right now so your kid don't have to see this embarrassment. And she saw that embarrassment, and he ran out of there. And even Clark after, humble Clark, he said this, I'm sorry you guys had to see that. He wanted everyone to know. And I love that the Lana family, and I'm sorry to give you the floor, but I love that because even Heineken, right? Lana's
Yeah.
husband, the way he looked at him almost like, holy hell, this guy's about to die.
Yeah.
Love this thing. Really
But
love
not
this thing.
only did he leave the diner, apparently he skipped town. He completely left the
He
small.
left the daughter. He left the daughter. How do you
He
leave your
left
daughter?
the daughter. He left the daughter. So she's kind of like, up shit's creek because that was like her only parent in the household. We don't know what's going on with her. But
and
yeah,
now they gotta go to the kid.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm sure we missed something. I'm trying to think of anything else that happened in this episode that was of note. At the end of the episode, the team goes through this. Dad, Clark, and Lois, they decide to let her get her treatment at Tobias's Wells hospital in order to get like some more intel on what the hell's going on with him. So she's going in for treatment, but she's also will be going in undercover the next episode. So that's something to look forward
to. Wait, one more thing. The interaction between the grandfather and Superboy.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Jordan, he got spotted. The back of his head, his little bushy, furry-eyed back head got
his hair looked like the old honeycomb mascot.
Yeah, very much bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And they're like, look, we got to cut your hair. It's got to, you got to blend it.
I hated that.
Well, honestly, he could use a haircut. If we're being honest, he could use a haircut. Cut that shit off.
I'm not even going to hold you. Like, I saw he does look like Spice Ice.
Orphan Annie.
Ice Spice? That's funny.
What? That's not the name?
She wearing her panties. She's looking like jelly.
Was it big boobs? Was it big boobs? Something make them go rum? I don't know. I'm terrible with these lyrics. All I know is it's hard to keep up with it. I might sing it at the next karaoke. Get prepared for that.
But but Jordan refuses, and he was being a little smart alecky with his grandpa. And I'm like, all these damn Smallville kids need to get a slap in the face. And they need to get a little beat.
No.
They all little bad.
No. I am glad.
Like that. I would never talk to my granddad like that. Can you imagine?
Facts.
I wouldn't be here doing that. But I'm glad that he said that to that melted candle. Good for that, because sometimes Grandpa Wax gets on my nerve because he does a little too much.
You can't do that to your grandparents. Like, okay, everybody gets a little smart alecky with your parents, right? That happens. But you don't do that to your grandparents. Like, come on now, have some decorum.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was like 6, I did that to my grandmother. It never happened again.
See?
Never happened again. What? She fixed me. She fixed me real fucking quick. You know what I'm saying? And I was 6. You heard?
No, totally heard.
I mean, listen. I'm not gonna. I don't think there's another way of saying this. I think it's a cultural thing. I just think that certain type of people are pretty with their kids. You know what I mean? Because like, I think that if that wasn't his grandchild, oh man.
Oh yeah, he would have put him in his place. Granddaddy don't play.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to be.
He even said. Oh, stop that! See, I saw that. But even later in the episode, no, the way you said soft, yeah, because you saw that SAWFT, soft. But I mean, he even says later on, man. Grandpa Lane, he's tough as nails. But he said, "I would have said this 30 years ago, but that hurt my feelings."
Yeah. But later on, he did apologize, and not only that, Granddad, he gifted him with his very first like super suit, if you will, and not only the suit, but a pair of goggles that were kind of like heirloom to the family. It belonged.
What's his father's?
Yeah, so that was really nice to see. So I can't wait to see the whole suit on our boy. Hopefully this episode.
I love how Grandpa came through like Gamby.
Yeah, came through like Gamby with the super suit. But that was the episodes, guys. Thank you guys for hanging with us for this long extended breakdown. If you like the video, please like the video and join us next week for episode 5, where we see what's going on when Lois is undercover. And that's all, folks. See ya.
Oh, we hit the goodbye button. Bye, guys.